Imagine living in a world where climate change isn't a major global issue or even doesn't exist at all. There are ways, believe it or not, to reduce the climate change in a healthy manner that will keep humans feeling healthy and safe to their diets, let's say. And overall, it does help the earth and improve conditions that climate change has caused. For example, I'm currently living in Michigan in the Midwest, and when springtime hits, one day it might be 75 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny, and the next day it might start snowing. And for people like me, this is kind of dangerous because I'm prone to a lot of sinus infections and other diseases. And with weather changing literally in the snap of a finger overnight, that can definitely lead to issues within the sinuses and other health and immunity issues that people may have. That doesn't affect just people in the Midwest. It does affect me in Michigan, but it is a global issue. The planet is overheating or drastically freezing randomly, and climate change is the leading issue of that. One way to help resolve climate change, or at least limit climate change, is by switching to a vegetarian diet. Vegetarians are people who do not eat meat products. A lot of people seem to mix up vegetarians and vegans, so a quick disclaimer: vegetarians just don't eat meat in their diets. Vegans disclude all animal products. So vegans don't eat dairy, they don't eat meat. Honey from bees is debatable topic for that, but some people do, some people don't. But vegans, anything from animals, they won't eat. Vegetarians just don't eat meat. Personally, I am vegetarian. I don't eat meat products, so I feel pretty well informed on this topic, well aware of both benefits and negative side effects that switching to this diet may cause, at least for personal bodily issues. To begin with, vegetarians, like I already mentioned, help improve climate change conditions, and this is because meat consumption and production can lead to overheating of the planet. This also pollutes the air because there are a lot of greenhouse gases and methanes released into the air from the farming the animals and killing them off. A lot of the animals, the things that they eat, and then the fact that the animals are just killed basically and not reproduced and included back into the circle of life can lead to deforestation because they're eating up this land, they're inhabiting this land, and then that land is just used to butcher them for food. Uh, by not consuming meat, hopefully that will lessen the amount of air pollution. I guess you could call it natural air pollution because it is the greenhouse gases and methanes that some plants may produce as well. Like, this isn't necessarily factory pollution that I'm talking about. This is the pollution just from the farming process of producing meat. Contradicting this, though, people might want to say that they won't switch to becoming vegetarian because their products are more costly. It is very costly to produce plant-based products. Trust me, I am first-handedly experienced this with my grocery bills. Plant-based meats, I guess you would say, are very costly. For example, if I go to the store to buy a pack of veggie burgers, the box of 4 patties is going to be about $7 or $8. When you can buy beef patties, I know, from the meat section for a little bit cheaper than this. I mean, obviously it depends on the size and the weight of beef patties, but plant-based products are very expensive because the resources used to create them aren't necessarily rare, but they're less common because plant-based products still aren't in every single household. They're definitely up and coming, but it's costly to produce them. Therefore, they sell for a higher price. So it may be harder for some people to incorporate this type of diet because they can't afford it. But contrasting this again, a vegetarian diet also helps to reduce sicknesses within the human body. There are tons of foodborne illnesses that come from eating meat, And I've actually seen a few documentaries on this before back in high school, but there are tons of foodborne illnesses from meat, and so cutting that out of your diet completely will have you less worried about that for sure. I have not been worried, for example, when I make my vegan nuggets or vegetarian nuggets. It's a supplement or replacement for chicken nuggets. But when I make them, I'm not necessarily worried if they're slightly undercooked or overcooked, because the slightest bit of undercooking or overcooking won't really affect the texture of it or anything like that. But with real chicken, I am nervous because if I undercook my chicken and I bite into it and it's pink, I'm more at risk of getting some sort of food poisoning or illness from that. And you could also keep going back and forth with this debate, but contradicting it again, I understand there are foodborne illnesses from things like lettuce and other produce from or that vegetarians may eat, and I know this is mostly due to the pesticides and whatnot, but you have to keep in mind most of these pesticides are also found in the animals, or at least what the animals are eating, so there's just an increased risk if you're including the meat in your diet on top of all of that. I found all of this information from 3 separate websites. One of them was called time.com. One of them was from theguardian.com, and the third one is from usatoday.com. These are cited in my outlines so you can see the authors behind them. In conclusion, there are a lot more benefits to switching to a vegetarian diet, and you will feel a lot healthier overall. It will also help to benefit the earth and reduce the risk of climate change affecting our planet negatively.